It's time for Dads Making a Difference, powered by First Things First. This transformative show will help you learn how to handle the stress of fatherhood, how to better relate to your child, navigate the child support system, and all things that come with being a dad. With your hosts, Reggie Madison and James Frankie Woods.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning.
Or whatever it is for those that are listening, right? There are so often, the one thing you think about when you hear about a single parent is a mom. And the thing I like about Dads Make the Difference, the thing I like about this show that we do every Sunday is you get to not just meet one, but multiple dads.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes these dads they're single themselves and they have their own journeys. And so today you're going to meet one very special man. And I don't mean special in the special sense. I mean special in the, you're going to admire him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. You're going to be like, man, if he could have been my dad, shoot, they don't tell him how my life would have turned out.
He's my dad right now. Y'all don't even know.
And so, my father of four, minister, hard worker,
Yep.
uncle,
Yep.
whatever you want to call him. Welcome, Marvin. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good.
It's good to have you here today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
So as we get started, just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm the single father of four, 3 girls, 1 son, Mornasia, Malia, Mariah, and Christian. And also, I'm an associate minister at Rosa Sharon Missionary Baptist Church. And just something like busy.
How old are your kids?
Mornasia is 15. Malia is 13. And Mariah is 12. And Christian is 9.
He got 2 teenage girls, about a preteen. Whew. I don't envy you.
Man, I don't know what to say, man, besides I'm proud of you, bro.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
proud of you because, man, we talked before you came in. We talked. I ain't gonna tell y'all everything yet, but great brother we got here.
So tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you get to this place where you ended up with full custody?
Well, I started out, basically I started out on child support with the kids. Was still married at the time, and things weren't quite working out in the marriage. So she had custody of the kids, of course, and so I would have to be I wasn't the primary parent, but I had to be the parent to see them.
Non-custodial, yeah.
The non-custodial. I had to see them when I could see them, and basically, even though I was non-custodial, I would still spend a lot of time, going to pick my children up, keep them involved in church, anything that was going on at church, like Vacation Bible School, for instance, and Youth Day. I would keep them busy at all times and just spend as much time as I could with them. But to make a long story short, basically, the mom just left them with me one day, and when I tried to take them back, she wouldn't take them back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, did you get any resistance from the legal sisters or judges? Tell us a little bit about that. Walk us through that little journey a little bit.
Okay. I didn't really get any resistance from the judges. Basically, it worked out smoother than I thought it was. When I went to court, the crazy part was I was still paying child support when I had the kids for about maybe from June until maybe November. When I went back to court, I was still paying child support to the mother. Wow. And I thought they was going to stop it immediately at that time, but they didn't. So I had to wait until they go to court until they stopped it, of course. So, that was hard. So it was like this scrambling thing, trying to figure out how I'm going to do for the children, and asking family at that time, my mom and my sister, everybody was chipping in, helping me pull everything together. And of course, I had to scramble and try to go get birth certificates, stuff that I just didn't have, Social Security cards.
Wow.
Then I had to try to get them in school. I mean, it was just a whole different transition. And then I was working third shift at the time. Yeah.
How old was your oldest when this started? When this happened?
Mornasia probably was around 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, Christian was about 3.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to, of course, the other 3 was in school, but Christian, I had to get a babysitter for him.
Wow.
So that was very different.
Gotcha.
How did this, like, did you feel overwhelmed? Did you feel scared? Like, what was going through the inside of Marvin when this is going on?
Only thing going through my mind was, I got to do what I got to do. You know, you got to push sleeves up and do what you got to do. And see, this wasn't my first time being a single father. In 2004, my first wife passed away, and I ended up raising 3 boys and a daughter. So I raised them until they became adults. So, I mean, I've done it.
Right.
So it wasn't like brand new.
Right. So what's your biggest challenge to raising women, man? Give me a little insight on women in that household. I know there's some problems going on a little bit. Not probably big problems, but just.
Well, I ain't gonna say it's problems.
Yeah.
I probably would say,
Challenges.
of course, you know, they gonna like boys,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
And it's just keeping your eyes pierced, making sure you keep that you're aware of everything that's going on.
Gotcha.
And I think the other challenge may be not knowing what to do in certain situations. You know, when a female, things are getting ready to happen and the bodies are changing and all that. And so my sister, people like them chip in.
Yeah.
And they pick up that part for me that I can't do.
Yeah, that's wise. How has Marvin had some of those tough conversations with the girls? You know, like you said, they liking boys. Right. You know, have you had to lay the hammer down? Have you had to, like, what have you had to do? How have you addressed them? How have you talked about it? How have you stayed connected in their lives?
I mean, I try, like my oldest, I try to be open.
Okay.
You know, she had a little young man that liked her, but this young man came up and he introduced himself to me.
Okay, then.
You know, that's not happening all the time. So when he introduced himself to me, shook my hand and told me his name, we became very close. So I didn't have a problem. But me and his grandmother and I, we monitored that relationship pretty close.
Yes, sir.
If they was going somewhere, somebody had to be with them.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, in this day and time, you got to be people had stuff to say about it, of course. Yes, but in this day and time, you got to be a little more open because you can't be like our parents were saying, "Oh, you ain't like nobody."
Right.
I mean, they're human.
Yeah, when in that dating scene, you know how it goes. Is what if you don't give them that chance, the opportunity, guess what they gonna do? We already know they're gonna sneak and do it.
Right. And I didn't want her or any of them sneaking to do it.
Yes, sir.
At least I know who you're interested in. So,
What I don't know that people just really got the fact that if he is coming and introducing himself, that shows the amount of respect that your daughter has for you as her dad.
right.
Like, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Right.
You know, it adds confidence that, you know, one, hopefully she's not dating somebody that ain't man enough to do that,
Right.
you know, to introduce himself. But it's that, because like you say, not everybody's doing that.
Right.
And so, man, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to that young man who did that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's very, like you said, it's very far and few that gentlemen that do that. That's a gentleman.
That's correct.
That's a gentleman.
That's correct.
And so, and it speaks to how you treat your daughter.
Correct.
It does.
Yeah, and I want them to know how they're supposed to be treated by a man. You know, that's why I tell them, you know, I open the doors. I try to instill in Christian. You know, I can see he does a lot of things, imitating his father, so that makes me proud. Too.
Gotcha.
That's good. That's good. Now, you are, I know when we'll get together with Marvin, he got his calendar, he got his pen, his paper, his notebook. How do you keep, because you got 4 kids. I know some of them play sports, some of them cheer, some of them in other activities. How do you keep all that together?
I keep everything together in the calendar. I spread that calendar out. So, for instance, I got one, Malia. She's volleyball. She does everything. You hear me? Track, volleyball, cheerleading. At the time, one time, Ornasia was doing cheerleading. And Mariah, she was cheering. I got volleyball going on, and now I'm finna have track getting ready to go on. So I basically write everything out, and on them days I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be, so I can make sure I don't overbook.
Gotcha. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Overbook.
And Christian, he's playing basketball for the Center East Chat. So, and then I got to juggle my schedule at work as well. So I'm looking at everything just wide open, just like, okay, no, I can't do it on that day.
Gotcha.
Oh, no, that's not good. Okay, well, maybe we can try it at this time. So it really helps me visually to spread it out and write it down.
In between all of that, when does Marvin have time for Marvin?
Marvin hardly has any time for himself. I mean, every now and then I get those moments in. My sister, she'll get the children for me.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes they go spend the night at friend's house, but I'm real careful about that. Your girls, you know, I may say, I ask the mother. If it's a mother at the house with her, I say, well, do you have a man in the house?
Yeah.
If it's a man in the house, you're
Wisdom.
not going.
Right.
Wisdom.
Yeah, and if you got an older brother in the house, you're not going.
Right.
You know, I'm just trying to be wise on that part because I don't want anything wrong happening because things happen so fast.
That's good. So you, I mean, you don't get a whole lot of time for yourself, obviously. Your kids, just from my interactions with them, they have confidence. Like they'll come up, they'll give me a hug, they'll talk, they'll play. Where do you think they got that confidence from? Why do you think they have so much confidence?
I think they have so much confidence because I just push them. I mean, I don't get them involved in stuff that they shouldn't be in. If there's something they don't want to do, then I say, that's fine. But once you start it, I expect for you to finish it. Because I remember when I was younger, I started things. I ain't have a dad there, first of all. But I would start, maybe I can remember softball, for example, or whatever, baseball. And I quit. I started. I quit. If I got tired of it, I quit. But I want them having in their mind, finish what you start and don't be afraid, because when you're afraid to do some things, you'll keep running. Mm-hmm. And as you get older in life, you're going to have jobs that you're going to have to stand up in front of people. I remember bringing up at the schools one time, telling them you need to have public speaking for the kids. Because you never know when you're going to stand up. You got to get over that fear.
Yes, sir.
And then my kids, they also get the confidence as well. Like at church, you know, when we growed up, we had Easter speeches and Christmas speeches, and I would notice how they learned their speech, and they were so confident, even down to Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's confident too. He'll get up and do what he got to do.
Gotcha. So what advice would you give like a non-traditional father that's transformation to non-traditional to full custody fathers? What advice do you have for those type of fathers?
The advice I would give him, take it slow, pray. You got to pray because,
pray.
I mean, you don't always know what to do in every situation.
Yes, sir.
And it's a step-by-step process, and talking to your it's a step-by-step process, and just getting to talk to your kids, because, you know, each one of your children are different.
Right.
And that's the other thing you got to recognize. The personalities are totally different. And I mean, I got one. When she's upset, she shut down on you. So that's the things I'm talking about. You got to know your children.
You study them.
Yes, I know each and every one of them. Yeah, I know each and every one of them. I mean, even my son, like I was saying about my son earlier, as far as I remember him asking me one time, it was about a situation about my dad. And I mean, I was like, son, my dad wasn't there. So I don't know certain things about him from that point, but I can remember, I mean, when we talked before, I can remember the first time meeting my dad, and that was maybe in the kindergarten, and not meeting my dad again until high school at Kirkman. And the situation in that was, me and a friend was joking around, and you know how you do. And when you're in high school, and well, actually, that was at East Lake Junior High. That was junior high then. And I can remember him getting upset with me because I got the best of him and joking around or whatever. And he said, well, you don't know who your dad is. And I can remember how that crushed me on the inside.
Wow.
So I remember going home and praying. I said, Lord, I don't want nothing from him. I just want to know who he is. And 2 weeks later, and it's no lie, 2 weeks later, he saw my mom on the bus and told him he wanted to see me.
Wow.
Then that's when I discovered I had sisters and everything at Kirkman. I had a sister at Kirkman that I hadn't met.
You had a sister at the school you were going to,
Right.
and you didn't
She
even
was a
know.
cheerleader.
At a high school.
Yes. Yeah, she was a cheerleader. And I had never met her, so it was exciting meeting all my siblings. So I got a pretty large family.
That's cool, man.
That is cool. So you've had, and you kind of explained it, but you've experienced your own hurt. How have you made sure that you didn't transfer any of that hurt to your own children as you fathered them?
I just try to be the best father I can. I mean, actually, like, when I was in the magazine several years back, in the Chatter magazine, it's like after that, I became like this super dad to the guys in the neighborhood. They was encouraged, and they say, you really encouraged me to want to be in my children's life. And I always encourage the young dads, you know, to do the best you can. I tell them it's not always about the finances, but it's about your time. It's nothing like your child at a program and they look out or an event, sporting event, and they see you there supporting them and knowing that you really care about what they're doing and you're pushing them and you're encouraging them, you can do it. So
that was a real nice. They did a spread on Marvin and his family in a local magazine. And I mean, it was encouraging. It inspired me. Like, it made me want to be a better dad as I read that and just saw what all you had to say. And so it's awesome. Right. We ask every dad, everybody really, but every dad that comes on, 4 or 5 questions. And so we're going to fire them at you.
Okay.
Okay? You want the first one?
I'm ready for the first one. So what makes dads irreplaceable?
A dad is irreplaceable. Maybe because, I mean, your kids really look up to you as a leader, and when you're able to encourage them and push them to do their best and all things, I think makes them replaceable.
That's good. That's good. But before we ask the next one, do you yell at your kids, man? Because he always looks so calm, doesn't he?
Don't all parents yell at their kids?
I've seen his son getting, something he wasn't supposed to get. And, most dads would have been like, boy, put that down. He'll go on. Now, Christian, you're not supposed to have that. I just be like, man, I need to up my fathering skills.
See, I stay calm. I mean, you should have seen when we did the photo shoot for the magazine. I'm trying to get Christian together, and I'm scrambling, and he got mad, and he shut down on me. And I'm like, Christian, if you don't get your butt in there and do what I told you, and I'm just we walked back in the room with a smile on our face. You should have seen it. It was unbelievable. But
So it sounds like knowing your kids and knowing that causes him to shut down.
oh yeah,
when it's
he
a
got
light.
upset with me. But I mean, you can't have your son, out of order.
Right. No,
Yeah,
you're right there.
Yeah, you can't
Definitely
have your
right.
son out of order like that.
So what is the either the craziest or most fun thing you and your kids have ever done?
I'm gonna say one of the funniest things was maybe a couple of months ago. We was in the grocery store, and I can remember them. I'm getting something off the shelf, and then when I look down on the floor, it's like this rat mouse thing rolling across the floor, and I freaked out. But the crazy part was there was this beautiful lady right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I mean, like cool points just lost.
Gone. Gone.
It happens, man.
I mean, but we have fun all the time. We laugh. Sometimes they say I'm not serious enough because I joke and just make fun. They know I'm gonna make fun of it, and then I'm gonna perk them back up. Perk them up. But I'm gonna make fun about the situation.
Definitely.
And they say, "Dad, you need to be serious sometime."
Do y'all have any rituals, any traditions, any things that you guys do?
I can't say we really have any rituals.
Yeah.
I mean, we always doing something
Yeah.
together. But we too busy, I think, to have a ritual. Yeah,
What advice would you give your younger self?
my younger self,
Yes, sir.
I mean, with me being in my 50s, I would have had children earlier because I'd be tired now.
Yeah.
I would have done this at a young age.
A young age.
Right.
That means, wait a minute, you had you was in your upper 40s.
Well,
when you had
no,
Christian, huh?
Mornasia was, but Mornasia was born when I was like 37. Yeah.
Ooh, man. Ooh,
That's tough.
that's tough.
So what have you noticed as the biggest barriers to non-traditional fathers?
The biggest barrier would probably be, I guess, would probably be time. The time spent with your children. I mean, I hear guys all the time. I mean, this is a young man. I go out to the bus stop every morning with the kids. I'm out there with middle schoolers. I'm just standing on the porch and kind of just watching because you got to keep an eye on all the children. The children know I'm there, and I think they all feel security, even the ones in the neighborhood. Then I go out with Mornasia, but she's the high schooler, so she don't like
She don't
that.
want you too close.
Right. Drop her off and keep moving.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Why is you stopping right here? Where you want me to stop at? Down the street. And Christian, I stand there with him, of course, because elementary kids, they gonna get into stuff.
Right.
Always.
So I
Especially
stand there
them
with
elementary
them.
boys.
But it's one father. He's out there every morning with his daughter. And I said, man, I like that, because I love when I see a father that's really there like that with that time, walking his child to the store, but he's there. He kisses his daughter and give her a hug every morning. Then he's off to work. He said, because he doesn't get home till late. I said, well, bro, I really admire you for what you're doing and being there for your children. And we've been the only two dads there on that bus stop every morning.
Man, that's awesome.
If you could take your teenage son or daughter anywhere and provide them with any experience, what would that be?
I would just love to take a vacation anywhere.
Just anywhere.
We went to Florida the year before last.
Right.
That was exciting, but it was tiresome too because I had to do all the driving. So by the time I got there, I was worn out. But the flip side to it was Malia had to be in Knoxville for a track meet. So I had to leave early from Florida and get all the way to Knoxville for the track meet. But we made it on time, though. Yeah, I drove all night, but we made it.
See, if anybody wants to send Marvin and his kids on a vacation, just email me at dmd@firstthings.org, and we will send this man somewhere.
Yes, sir.
And his kids.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. We might send him and keep the kids. Right.
Get a babysitter.
Right.
Get a
Right.
babysitter. But I got a chance to say this today. I love to give my brothers their flowers, and today it's about Marvin. Marvin, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you at Dad's Making a Difference. I appreciate you for what you have taught me.
Okay.
We just discussed this before you came in this door about planning, because when I first came here, I thought everything was going to be in my brain. But when I saw how you move with your planner,
Right.
that taught me to be more disciplined in my job and what I do as a father to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say I commend you for teaching me that. I commend you for what you do for our community. And keep going, brother.
All right.
Keep going, man, because you are a blessing.
Yeah.
Thank
And I'm
you.
smiling, y'all, because y'all don't understand. It's rare that we see fathers in this situation that's smiling and giving us energy like this, man. So I really applaud you, man. I really do. Today is about Marvin.
Right.
What,
Thank you.
What is fascinating that I've just always admired is you seem comfortable in your skin. And for kids to see a dad that's not trying to be like, the dad on TV
Right.
or the
Right.
superstar dad or this and that. And so we'll sit and have a bunch of dads around. He's a part of the Dads Making a Difference leadership team, alumni leadership team. And he may not say anything the entire meeting. And then, but he'll either email you something, text you something, or tell you after the meeting, and it be the best, like most profound nugget. And I came to appreciate, that he wasn't trying to outshine everybody. He was just being him. And when he was being him, who he was just came out, and it benefits everybody.
Right. Sometimes I think you don't need to speak until you need to speak.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, Marvin, I am so glad we got a chance to have
Yes,
you
sir.
on here today.
Thanks for having
You
me.
truly are a dad making a difference,
You are.
and not just in your own kids, but throughout the Dads Make a Difference program, throughout the community, throughout your neighbor, people that see. Yeah, it's something to be, admonished. Really, it's something that we really have to make sure that we're celebrating. So, and keep doing you.
Keep doing you, my brother.
Yeah. I
And
will.
if you ever have any information, any questions about the Dads Making a Difference program, just go to firstthings.org/DMD. You can get information. You can contact me or James, and we are here to help you make a difference.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Dads Making a Difference, powered by First Things First. Join us for our next episode right here